there, folks. Welcome back to the Liverpool Complete Playthrough. Today, then, 2 matches coming up. Before we get there, though, of course, we've talked in recent episodes about getting in a potential leader in at Liverpool, and centre-back's been the position we've talked about the most. And when it comes to bringing in a leader at Liverpool, maybe to replace someone like Dejan Lovren at centre-back, we've also talked about getting a striker in as the leader, but Firmino's coming to form recently. It doesn't seem like the sort of area we need to chop and change. But defensively, then, there aren't too many centre-back options in the leadership area. Obviously, what I've put in, then, is the attribute for leadership, and I've sort of been flicking between 17, 18s, 19s, and then ending up around 16, where there seems to be a wealth of opportunities, by which I mean there's kind of 3 players that you'd maybe even possibly consider. Sam Hutchinson, one of them, then, probably not the kind of player that would get in at this stage, more defensive midfield than defender. Simon Kjaer is an interesting option. Of course, a Danish international, been around for a long time, but not really someone that inspires me to think, do you know what, let's go out there and get him immediately. And the other one, and then Toby Alderweireld, is not not really the kind of guy that I think would come to us right now. I mean, if I thought I could get him, I think we would do. I mean, we'll put a bid in. They took storage from us. We'll go in at 30 million. We'll suggest terms, is what they say. 96 million. I don't think this is even worth negotiating to around 50 million. And then you kind of have to drop down to sort of the 15s, 16s, well, sorry, sort of 15s, 14s to really open up your avenues. But there aren't too many leaders at the back. And again, these aren't even players that are interested. So I don't really know what to do. I'm not going to just force myself to get a leader for the sake of getting a leader. But as of right now, I'm not really finding the right player. Just overall, obviously, you saw at the start there, I took it off defenders and just looked for leaders in general. Mauro Icardi is maybe someone we could go for. He's a striking option. Again, it would cost us a lot of money. Adrian Silva, central midfielder at Sporting, again, would probably cost us quite a lot. Strootman at Roma, another one. So there are leaders out there. I just don't think there's that many that suit us right now and would consider coming to us. So it might be the kind of case where we have to hold on to a player like Dejan Lovren for now, despite the fact he wants to leave. He's got 12 leadership, so he's not really bringing anything to the table in that department. But anyway, let's go through them. We've got games coming up today against Burnley. No, sorry, not Burnley, Scunthorpe. Same colours, got confused. Played Burnley last time, of course, and got a 2-2 draw. 1-1 draw. It was a draw. That's all I can remember. Sorry, starting again. Scunthorpe, FA Cup 3rd round. Right then, we're not editing these. I've made a rule. So FA Cup then, 3rd round against Scunthorpe, and then the first leg of the EFL Cup semi-final against Tottenham. That is set to be a rather interesting one then. A few days to go before we get there, and of course Scunthorpe in the FA Cup gives us a perfect opportunity to rotate our side, bring in some different players. Speaking of players that are sort of half interested, AFC Wimbledon have come in for Woodburn. We'll let him go out, and Joe Gomez is subject to a loan offer from Sheffield Wednesday. They consider him a key player at centre back, but it's the sort of player I actually want to try and get involved today against Scunthorpe, or this episode against Scunthorpe. So we'll keep him for now and see how he performs against Scunthorpe. And the FA Cup again, much like the EFL Cup, we've done very, very well in it, but it's a tournament that I think we should try and compete in and try our best in. Of course, if we're in Europe, that might not necessarily be the case, but in this sort of environment, in the way that Liverpool are this year, I think it makes sense as Lovren hands in a transfer request, which is interesting. I'll accept his request by all means. If it gives us some more like sort of firepower in the transfer market, then of course I'll let him go. But 25-30 million is what I'm looking for to get him, and so far no one's offered us that. A chest injury for Lallana, 4 to 5 days, so he's going to miss the game against Scunthorpe. Might just squeeze back for the game against Tottenham, but it's not the sort of play we have to risk in that game. We've got other options available to us as we go ever closer then. Shangang, apparently they're very interested in Lovren. 18.5 million. A bid's come in. That's combined 18. What we're going to say is going to return the favour with 27, 28, I think. We'll go 28. We'll see what they say. They've come back with a 25.5 million. I mean, we would get that money quite quickly. And for a player that doesn't want to be here, I think we'd probably accept it. Lovren's a good defender, but he clearly just doesn't want to be here, and his morale has affected everyone else. Well, not sort of evidently, but performance-wise, we've seen in recent games he's not played to his best. Right, a few injuries then. Karius is also out at the moment with a virus, so he can't play in this cup game, which is a bit of a shame. So let's do some rotation then. First of all, we'll bring on Shea Ojo to play on the left-hand side. We've got an injury then to Lallana. No, this gives us a bit of a conundrum. We'll do the ones that are obvious then. Trent Alexander-Arnold comes in at right back, Moreno at left back, centre back then. Joe Gomez can come in for Joel Matip. We may as well get the final game out of Lovren while he's here. Divock Origi On that right-hand side, instead of Keita, we're going to bring in Milner in the centre instead of Jordan Henderson. Wijnaldum next to him, and then that attacking midfielder. I think Coutinho, we're actually going to stick him in there and play him in behind a striker of Danny Ings. Why not? Let's see how he does up front for us today. So we're completely rotated lineup then, aside from Mignolet in goal, who stays there as Karius is out injured. I mean, we could have played Lucas today, actually. Should we go for a full rotation? Oh, I think we'll do full rotation. We'll bring in Lucas, not as the advanced playmaker, though, as the deep lying playmaker, and maybe swap him and Milner around. All right, we'll play him as a deep line playmaker. He was formerly a playmaker in his previous years, and he's got very decent passing, so he should be fine there. He's not the quickest, but he's playing more defensive anyway. He should be fine. Right then, Scunthorpe, first game of the episode. Let's hopefully get ourselves a win, and then we can carry that form, although they're not the same players. Club mentality is always good to be winning, isn't it? Into the Spurs game then. Scunthorpe should be a team easily beat. Of course, we're favourites for the game. And should we see how they're doing? They've got Ivan Toney up front, on loan from Newcastle. Decent little player. Scunthorpe currently second in League One, so they're a team in form, much like us. This is going to be a nice little challenge then. I look forward to it. Let's see how we get on. Team talk is as follows. We're going for a passionate. There's a lot more to come from you. I believe you've got what it takes. The only person not to look pleased about it is Lovren. He's probably quite unhappy, if I think about it, that he's even playing today. But that's just the way it is, Dijon. Sorry about that. As the teams come out then at Scunthorpe. What's the Scunthorpe ground called? I can't quite remember. Glanford Park. Yes, that does ring a bell when I think about it. Right then, boys. Let's see. Can our second 11... Obviously, there's been a lot of talk this season that Liverpool have a distinct lack of depth in their squad. I don't necessarily subscribe to that. I think when we've got sort of 16 players that are pretty good, and when you're not in Europe, that's probably, generally speaking, all you need. If you get injuries, though, that's of course going to cause problems. I think that's been Liverpool's biggest issue in real life this year, is that they've had quite a few injuries. They've tallied up at the wrong times, and it's caused us all sorts of problems. We've not been able to play our strongest 11 or a strong 11 in some games. It's always been like a decent 11. But so far against Scunthorpe here, 64% possession after half an hour. We've had a few more shots than them. And the first real highlight of the game then, Wijnaldum, he plus it backwards. What a highlight as Gomez into Wijnaldum. He's got Klein on that right, also not Klein, sorry, it's Alexander now, isn't it? The change up, ball whipped in, not the greatest delivery. Milner is on it though, like a shot. We'll move this mouse out of the way. As Moreno on this left-hand side, back into Lucas, plays it into James Milner. There's a lot of experience in this side. You think about Lucas and Moreno, as well as Milner there as well. Origi's played a fair few amount of games as a first-team player now too. As Origi, ball towards the back post, Ojo heads it in. Not a completely conventional goal from those two players, but a great goal from Ojo. A nice header from him. Origi with a really good ball in as well, and a good way to start the game today then. 1-0. We won't even watch the replay. There's no need. We saw it as well as we could do in that first instance. Danny Ings yet to score. I want Danny Ings to do well for me. It's whether we can get him game time. It sort of depends on how Firmino does. And when Firmino scores and plays quite well, there's no real need to put in any changes in that regard. As there we are then. The first half is over. 45 minutes gone. And I'm pleased with how things are going. I'm just going to have to keep it up. There's no real need to change things dramatically. Well, hopefully we can just keep Scunthorpe at bay in this second half. A few players in the Scunthorpe team that will be familiar to a few of you. If we bring up, actually, let's just quickly bring up the list, see if there's any others that I recognise outright. Neil Bishop's a name I recognise. Tony Hibbert at right back. So there's a few names in there. Harry Toffolo, former Norwich youngster as well. So a few names. I think he might be on loan actually at Scunny. I think he still plays for Norwich in real life. Scunthorpe made a little change just tactically there, made a very subtle change as we come forward again then. Lucas with it into Jamesy Milner, out to Origi, who's got the ball at his feet, plays it back to Lucas Leiva, and he's got players all around him. Wijnaldum into Milner again. Danny Ings is lurking, waiting for an opportunity. So far, though, the midfield are doing a really good job of holding on to it. Origi back into Wijnaldum. It's going to be, where's that killer ball going to come from? And is it going to come, is the real question. Wijnaldum into Origi again. They've got runners all over the place. Ings is forward and backwards like nobody's business. Alexander-Arnold on this right-hand side. Ball pulled back then. Well, it could be a penalty. I think the referee played an advantage, actually. And it's a second goal of the game for Ojo. A well-worked move from us. Really good passing. Again, like you'd expect us to do this against a side like Scunthorpe, if we're being completely honest. A ball then out to Alexander-Arnold, pulls it back. I mean, that is a dive or a foul, either or. Ings goes down, and Ojo can't miss from there, can he? It's been a dominant performance, as you'd expect from us so far in this game, and it's not over yet. Another highlight straight after the goal. And it might be Scunthorpe's chance to have a go at us. Tony on that right-hand side pulls it back, and it's going to be a great save from Simon Mignolet. My word, did he pull that out and I don't know, it might even build to a counter-attack. If it does, that really is a great save. Origi driving at the Scunthorpe defence. He's going down this wing. He beats his man. Is he going to beat his man and get a ball into the middle? He tries it. I mean, the crossing is poor. But what a save from Mignolet. That is the highlight of the game so far for me. Forget the goals that Ojo scored. That was a great save. And only on a 7-point rating. I do think goalkeeper ratings need to be tweaked a little bit. I think if you're keeping a clean sheet as a goalkeeper, you should always be around sort of the 7.5 mark come the end of the game. And on Football Manager, they're just not. They always sit around that 7. It's almost like they have to save a penalty or do something ridiculous to get a really high rating. And to me there, Mignolet's done that. Not only has he kept his clean sheet, but he's performed well all game, done a decent job. And that's going to bring us to the end of this match then. You'd think 20 seconds or so to go. 14 shots for us, only 5 for Scunthorpe. Not ideal on their side, of course. 541 passes, 86% pass completion, and say 64% possession. Ain't too bad at all. We had 14 corners in the game too. Not very many clear-cut opportunities, it must be said. A 2-0 win, 2 half chances, 1 clear-cut chance, and that's not too dissimilar to Scunthorpe. So they actually might be quite pleased with that, considering they're a League One side, only a 2-0 defeat. And they get a little bit of FA Cup money as well, because it's they're at home to us, so they won't be too disappointed with that. I shouldn't suspect. I noticed there, by the way, I was distracted by the fact Stephen Naismith was up in the goal scoring chance with Niang and Defoe. That is just an interesting trio. It caught my eye. Right then, game against Tottenham coming up. We're going to go with our full strength side. Of course we are. As I just go through this press conference by giving pretty much the same answer every time in the same sort of response. Arsenal go through. Any shocks in the FA Cup that are immediately noticeable? Not that I can see. No. Right, never mind then. Forget it. Tottenham coming up 3 days' time. This is going to be an interesting... Well, apparently there was an FA Cup shock maybe. Did I miss that? Barnsley caused an FA Cup shock. They beat Manchester City. Did I miss that? Well, that's quite the shock then. City are out to Barnsley. Well done to Barnsley. Congratulations to them. The draw is actually coming up on the Monday, so we'll get to have a little look at that. Ah, yes, Kevin Stewart. I forgot all about it. It's an £11 million move to Southampton. It's happening. 11 million rising to 13. Obviously, he could have gone to Watford, but he's chosen to go with Southampton. That's fine with me. Still a lot of money for a player that barely featured. Is he featured at all this season? No, he hasn't. But peculiar, bizarre. But we'll take it. We get 90% of that as well, so it'll be around 50 million, 50-something million. Now he's gone. If we take another look at that, then 53 million to spend. There's still room to spend it. I've been looking at the transfer list as well. There's like nothing on there, essentially, if we take a look. Lee Catamol, Aaron Lennon, Shane Long, or Bia Biani. I mean, slim pickings, I think the phrase would be. Bastian Schweinsteiger, now you talk about leadership. To get him in from Manchester United, would that be a bit of a coup? I mean, he wants a lot of money. Galaxy want him as well. I mean, I don't think it's worth trying to rile up Manchester United and Liverpool fans by trying to get Schweinsteiger in. So we'll leave it. I wonder how, like, Spurs are 41 points. A lot of talk about Daniel Sturridge. I think in the build-up to this game, we'll see how many goals he scored for Spurs this year. A few people are getting interested in that. Obviously, we sold him at the very start of the season. As we go through this FA Cup draw, we're still not being pulled out of the hat yet. As there's still, well, us and United are still in this, and, well, United Newcastle, that's a bit of a retro fixture. We could have Everton here. Well, we didn't. We got Watford. Away at Watford. Not too bad. I mean, a Premier League side's a bit of a challenge. And I do believe they're a team we drew with early in the season, so that might be more difficult than first thought. Oh, hello there, Barcelona. A £40 million bid total for Emre Can. In reality, it's 25 million with loads and loads of clauses. Clauses that, frankly, I'm not that interested in. And as I don't have the German fix, Barcelona, I know that the international appearances aren't going to be happening. So I'm just going to reject this offer outright. And yeah, we're not going to be talking about it. Are you going to change your training methods in response to James Milner's complaint? Said my assistant. Tottenham. I want this Tottenham game to get here right now. I'm excited for it. Lucas is trying to get a move apparently as well. I'm not dealing with this right now. We've got bigger things to fry. And that being Spurs away from home. As the game saves. Brilliant. I should have had a question prepared today, really. I didn't have anything on me. I don't have anything available. Where's my list? That's the question. It's too late. With the game saving, we'll continue to Spurs. Next episode, we'll maybe do a question or something like that. Zeka is going to Manchester United. Fullback. Excuse me. Decent little player from Santos. I mean, he looks ridiculously well-rounded, doesn't he? Let me know in the comments then. We went through a few before. A few of the guys people mentioned weren't necessarily leaders. If there's anyone you think that is young enough and maybe will become a leader, let me know in the comment section. I always like to have a look through. and see what you're suggesting. There'll definitely be time left in the transfer window by the time this episode comes out. This is coming out on the Thursday, I think, so there's plenty of time. Liverpool, Tottenham then, let's see. Team-wise, we'll quick pick because it should pick our first 11, and it nearly did. It was close. The question is then, do we, like, obviously we've lost Mane. Origi's not that different from him. That's not something that crossed my mind. The team is, as you'd expect, in fact, Lovren out, Klavan in. Mignolet in goal, then Klein, Matip, Klavan, and Seed at left back. We've got Emre Can and Henderson in the middle, Coutinho behind Firmino, Keita on the left, and we could play Divock Origi on that right-hand side. He's right-footed, of course, more natural as a striker, but is probably the most like Sadio Mane, who's still out for a few weeks. So let's try Origi out there in this game and see how he does. Are Spurs going to play Daniel Sturridge? I just want to see how he's done for them this season. I guess we'll see if he's in the lineup today. They're favourites for the game, by the way. Now, of course, it's only the first leg, and Sturridge is going to be up top. He's got Ali behind him, and Kudo on the left-hand side, Sissoko on the right, Wanyama and Dyer in the middle. So, not at, to my world, I wouldn't say they're at full strength there. I don't know if that's tactical or not. So, 11 goals, 8 assists in 17. That ain't bad, is it? 14 overall for Sturridge so far this season, 1 in Europe and 2 in the Cups. So he's having a decent time over at Tottenham. The shock thing for me is he's not got injured yet. I mean, he had a little injury for 5 days, but that's it. So, actually had a back strain as well, so he missed another 3 weeks there. So he's been out a little bit. He's not featured maybe as much as you'd suspect. And as I mentioned there, by the way, Spurs, I don't think this is their full-strength side. No Harry Kane, no Eriksen. They're not playing Lamela or Dembele. Son's on the bench as well. Danny Rose doesn't start in this game either. So this is quite curious from Spurs. I thought we'd see a full-strength side from them, but no, they've gone for a rotated side. Lloris doesn't start either. And we've gone full strength. So I guess they are in Europe, but this is a game I think we can now definitely win. And not only win, but win quite well. I don't know, maybe we're over-talking this Liverpool side. As the players line up then at the start of this game, I'm sure we're going to see them do a few warm-ups. We are doing. Is that symbolising our captain there? We can't actually click it. I think it might be Matip, you know. I'm not sure. Although obviously Henderson's club captain, so I'm confused. Right then, we're of course wearing the red kit, shooting from right to left. Spurs in their traditional white and blue. Of course, we've been playing them recently in the road trip series as well as this. Spurs in sort of 10 years in the future, 2026 I think it is. As early signs here, Origi's pushed forward. He's offside as the linesman gives it. He's done a very official job there with his flag. I mean, that's what he should be doing. So I'm not going to applaud him for doing his job correctly. That's what he should be doing. Early stages then. So far, not much to report. Not much worth changing. We're on standard fluid, of course. We can change it up. Maybe switch to counter-attack if it's not working in these early stages. But then again, Spurs aren't having like loads of possession. So it's not like we can hit them on the break. It's just been quite a dull, uninteresting first 20 minutes. And it's going to be who gets that breakthrough as the ball is fired to the side of the pitch by Spurs. But it's cut out, and now Keita has got a chance to run at the Spurs back line. Flicks it into Firmino, who hasn't got that much help. Origi is on his right-hand side, but Firmino goes it alone. A little bit of bend on that ball, I think, as it goes over the bar. Still 0-0, 20 minutes gone. It's gone down as a half chance, I think, and that's probably how I describe it as well. It wasn't clear-cut by any stretch. And, yeah, maybe working it into the box could have been a better route there. Oh, do we have that applied? No, we don't. I do wonder, in a game like this, against a Spurs side that aren't as strong as normal, working it into the box might work. We'll put it on. We'll see if anything comes of it. As Mignolet fires it forward towards Firmino, who is beaten in the air by Kevin Wimmer. But Shan heads it forward. Keita into Firmino. Are we going to work this? Nice little back heel. Coutinho now through on goal. Philip Coutinho with a golden opportunity. And he's hit it wide. It's hit the side netting. That should have been... Well, that should have been a goal, shouldn't it? As now Spurs have got a chance to go forward. Kyle Walker throws it into the feet of Eric Dyer. Gets it back and whips the ball in. Sturridge is there. For goodness sake. I mean, that is not a very Daniel Sturridge type goal, if you don't mind me saying so. It's kind of typical, though, isn't it? As he does a little dance. He's got the goal. I don't know if I regret selling him, though. It's still one of those things that... Do I think he probably fits this system? The system he started the season with, though, wasn't something he fitted with. And, of course, his injury problems. I think that it's a problem that Jurgen Klopp's got at the moment. He doesn't work as hard. He's not necessarily a team player. He's a finisher-offer. And... I don't know if that's what we needed at the time, so that's why we sold him for what, in my eyes, was still a pretty good fee. So far, then, not the best game from us. We're going to go more attacking in the second half, away from home. Look to grab some away goals. I think they count after extra time in the EFL Cup, so we'll bear that in mind. But to give Spurs a 1-0 lead isn't particularly healthy. And of course, if we don't score, it then, as soon as Spurs score in the second game, that causes its own problem as Emre Can just hauls down Dele Alli a little bit needlessly, who's not really had much of an impact so far. I don't think Dele Alli's ever going to really live up to his season in real life on Football Manager this year. I don't know if you've used Spurs, and Dele Alli's been a shining star, but I don't expect that to be the case. As Davis with a free kick, it's deflected into the hands of Mignolet. And it's at this point now where we've got to start thinking about maybe some potential changes. Wijnaldum to come on. Ojo, of course, scored 2 in the FA Cup. Is he the kind of player that should come into this game? As it's another Spurs attack. Walker throws it into Dyer. We've seen this before. Sturridge will be lurking in the area, pulled back, and Henderson's there. And this could be a counter-attack out towards Origi, who's got the pace to go forward, and just launches it forward. Straight to Roberto Firmino, though, a better pass than I actually thought it would be. Coutinho intercede on that left-hand side, and we're not really in the middle for him, but the ball comes in, it's deflected. Oh, it's in the back of the net! I mean, it's a goalkeeping travesty by Michel Vorm. I mean, it's a disaster. We'll look at it again from the reverse angle as we make a quick change as well. I'm going to bring Ojo on and play Keita on that right-hand side in a quick change on the wings. Let's see this again. I think we're going to see a replay. I mean, I hope we're going to see a replay. Are we going to see a replay? We're not going to see a replay. Regardless, that was some of the worst goalkeeping ever. As we go into the final 15 minutes, it's a Tottenham corner. Ben Davies to put it in. Matip heads clear. Are we there on this? No, Son Heung-min is going to be there first. Are we going to nab this off them and hit them on the break? It doesn't look like it. Ball drilled in. Mignolet does well. And that can't be the highlight because that was very, very mundane. So what's going to come of this? Excuse me, is the question. Mignolet, ball at his feet, launches it forward towards Ojo, sorry, and Sissoko plays it forward to Sturridge, who's through on goal. Sturridge, he's got a chance to score. He cannons it off the post. Klavan with the clearance. Out to Ojo again, and we're going to make another change in the middle. Henderson and Sham both on yellow cards, so we're going to get them both off for Milner and Wijnaldum, who are fully fit after their game at the weekend. Can we grab a late winner, though? That's the question. We've put some workmen on in the middle. We've taken off our 2 more sort of first-choice midfielders. There's not much time to go here. 1-1 away at White Hart Lane, I must say to you now, isn't too bad. It's a result we'd take, but then again, Spurs have got a throw-in and a chance to maybe put us in defeat City. That's the problem. Ball played up to Sturridge, headed poorly. Firmino picks it up, tries to find James Milner, it's not good, and now Spurs have got a chance to break. We've gone attacking, we're short at the back. Matip comes across towards Son Heung-min, who plays the ball into the middle. Klavan, good header away. Matip beaten, my word, Klein heads it away now. They're still going forward with it though. It comes out to Harry Winks, I think it is. Milner though, and maybe a counter-attack is on the cards for us. It's Roberto Firmino. He's gone through one, plays it towards Keita on this right-hand side, quite isolated, doesn't really have many options, goes for goal, hits the post. I don't know what Michel Vorm's doing. Cleared for a corner kick. 2 minutes to go in this game. Can Liverpool find a winner? 2 minutes. Coutinho ball in. Can he find anyone? It's cleared, headed away by Alderweireld. Keita's back on it though. He plays it back out to this right-hand side. Coutinho, can he fizz a ball into the middle? Pulls it back for Keita. He's had a chance before. Pulls it, well, tries to pull it back. It goes out for a corner though. And I assume that Coutinho is going to be on this again. Only a minute remaining now of added time. Can Liverpool find that all-important winner? It doesn't look like it. And maybe there will be one chance for Spurs as their defence pile out. Michel Vorm, I assume he's going to launch this long, which plays to our hands. Klavan and Matip are always going to beat Daniel Sturridge in the air, you'd hope. It's actually Klein this time as it's headed down. Son Heung-min takes it inside. Can we get it off him? It's a through ball, which hasn't found anybody, and Coutinho plays it all the way back to Mignolet. 30 seconds to go as that clearance from Mignolet is absolutely appalling. And that's probably then going to signal towards the end of this game. 20 seconds left. I don't think there's going to be a final goal. It looked as if there was going to be one, it would have been us. How on earth is that a foul, referee? Do you want to... I'll have to give your eyes a test. My words. Edwards is going to take this for Spurs in what's surely the final chance of the game. Whips it towards that back post. Alderweireld gets up. Mignolet was in no man's land. 1-1 then at White Hart Lane. And that's quite... As I say, that's quite a good result for us. 1-1 in the EFL Cup. Sets us up quite nicely for the second leg. That is, I should say, going to be in a little while. We've got some good games coming up soon against Bournemouth and West Ham come next as well. I think next episode will be the West Ham game then Bournemouth, then Watford, and maybe the EFL Cup. Or maybe we'll do FA Cup and we'll do Cups together again. Why not? Yeah, we'll do it like that. So if you're looking forward to the next episode, drop a like. If you've enjoyed this one, drop a like. And if you want to see some more, subscribe to the channel. Then with love, with care, from me, that's Benji. Until next time, goodbye.